Okay, so it seems like over the past couple of days, the Zentreya situation has been getting pretty insane, with a lot of people obviously adding their own kind of inputs into things, including some costume artists and stuff, which we have a response slash apology from, with all of the stuff that has been said towards Zentreya, and a lot of the harassment that, she's been facing, which has now eventually forced her to kind of rethink the model debut and maybe have to change some parts about it or scrap it entirely. Now, Zen hasn't gone live essentially after the situation has happened. It was happening a little bit while she was live and things, and I think she went live a day after, but it's been about 3 days since she last went live, and obviously the last stuff that she kind of wrote was, "I'm so done, I'm so tired," and essentially saying, yeah, that they're going to see if they can change it, or if not, they might scrap the model entirely, which is pretty sad to see, as this was the model they were getting mad over, by the way. If you guys don't know, obviously a lot of people were saying it was akin to something like a World War II Germany model, if you get what I mean, right? Which again, I don't think is the case at all, and I've made multiple videos going into detail about the model design and stuff like that, and what people have been saying about that, which if you guys want to go back and look at that, you guys 100% can. But one of the people that actually spoke up about some of this kind of stuff was a VTuber called Podge, who obviously has a pretty sizable following, 33k over on Twitter, right? And yeah, they came out and pretty much put almost, not like a call out post, but I'd say more like just a post giving some information on the design and things, which obviously paints Zentreya in a pretty bad light. And well, a lot of people were not happy about that, and I can see why. And then also they followed up with some other posts saying they were being attacked, doxxed, and people were sending revenge stuff about her, which we will go into in a little bit more detail in a minute, which obviously then prompted a response from Beth Electric, who is Zentreya's manager, and essentially they were saying, coming on here to say no, none of the hate is from Zen's fanbase. And from what I've seen, especially within the Discord and stuff, Zen's fanbase have actually been pretty chill, right? They've been supporting her and, being very outspoken about the fact that this is pretty ridiculous, but they haven't been really attacking anybody, at least from what I've seen. And it does tend to often be a lot of bad actors in the space, either on Twitter or other places, who will go and attack other people, which again is not necessary. And pretty much all the kind of messages coming from obviously her manager, Zen themselves, and also all the moderators and stuff over on the Discord, they've been kind of just promoting being positive and not starting up anything. And I've seen a lot of announcements and things, for example, about like playing games and joining VCs and stuff, because that's the thing that Zen likes to see the most, is the community kind of engaging, having a good time within her spaces, which again obviously they've been doing to kind of keep things positive. And again, I think all the moderators have been doing is trying to keep things as positive as possible for a lot of the fans. So again, yeah, I don't think it is any of the people from her community at all. And obviously, Beth Electric has gone through it and looked through some of the names and doesn't recognize any of them from the community itself. And obviously, yeah, we will go into that in a second there. But yeah, essentially, she did then eventually put out this response here saying, I am writing this to share that I'll be removing my post about Zentreya's outfit, and I will not be discussing it further. After taking some time to reflect, I understand it was not my place to speak on this, which 100% is true. So even though I hoped to approach the topic from what I understood, I ended up sharing information that was incorrect and inaccurate from what I have learned, and unintentionally caused hurt. I am truly sorry for that. I'm always learning, and I know I will make mistakes along the way. This is one that I want to acknowledge honestly. I also want to admit that I did not handle the criticism well. I felt overwhelmed and reacted by pulling away instead of facing the issue properly. Looking back, I understand why that came across in the wrong way, and I'm sorry for how I responded in the moment. So during this, I received both criticism and kindness. I want to thank everybody who offered support. It meant more than you know, especially during a moment which felt very heavy and confusing. They say, to Zentreya, I want to give a sincere apology for any stress I caused you. It wasn't my intention to disrespect you, insert myself into your situation, or contribute to the negativity surrounding it, which they 100% did, by the way. That post 100% threw up a lot more negativity towards Zentreya's way, right? But it said, but I recognize that's what happened. My actions added unnecessary noise and put you in an unfair position, and I take full responsibility for that. I do not expect a reply or forgiveness. I simply hope this makes clear that I regret how I've handled things, and that I've always admired you for your work. After my commitments until Sunday, I plan to take a short break from creating content so I can reflect and return with a clearer mind and a better understanding of how to approach sensitive topics. Thanks for taking the time to read this, Podge. So yeah, obviously that's the response that they put out, and it's a pretty good response. Like, I'm going to be honest, it's a very well-made response. I think obviously it covers a lot of the kind of issues that were going on with what Podge was saying about Zentreya and things like that. But then obviously, if you guys saw it flash up on my screen for a minute, some people are calling this out for being AI. Now, I went and checked on an AI checker myself, and it does say 100% AI GPT. Now, obviously, this stuff isn't 100% accurate. This is, this can be wrong. I did test it on multiple sites as well, and some of them were throwing up like 50%, 40%, some of them were throwing up zeros, some of them were throwing up hundreds. So again, it can be very all over the place, but again, a lot of people have been calling out the fact that some of the ones that they've been using have been propping up in 100% AI generated prompt here. And yeah, as you can see here, I literally put in the full tweet itself and it said AI GPT. Now, again, as I said, I don't think, I really do hope that this is a false flag, because this sometimes does happen. And I even say it in this tweet, right? I hope this is a false signal, because it is actually a really good apology. And I think that if this was actually made 100% honestly, and this was an actual apology that they wrote themselves, then I do think it's really good. But I think if it does turn out or whatever to be AI, and they say it's AI, it just kind of throws the sincerity out the window. I don't think apologies with AI will ever be good, because again, you're not the one writing it, so it can't be that honest and that do, from the heart kind of thing. If you're doing it through AI. Again, some people use AI to kind of improve or whatever, try to better put together their sentences. But again, even then, I still think it's not the most genuine apology, which obviously that's why this post hasn't had the most amount of likes. It's got 1.2 thousand likes with over 186,000 views, which again is still really, really good, but it's still not quite there for a good apology, right? And I think it is due to a lot of the AI stuff, and that's what a lot of people have been saying over in the quote retweets as well. A lot of people saying, feels very fake. The wording feels unnatural compared to our other postings, so it comes off as very insincere. Also, when you already going to take a break? And obviously, yeah, they said they were already going to take a break before. Obviously, some people saying ChatGPT apology. Said she really used AI to apologize. Again, I'm not going to say that last bit there, but that's pretty crazy. Said, why does it have to be AI? So yeah, a lot of people, saying, hey, this is AI, or like, why did you use AI or whatever. I think it is pretty insane. And again, I really do hope that it isn't, and that they can provide some kind of proof that it isn't. But again, it is pretty disappointing to see that it has, flagged up this, and that it could potentially be written by AI, because it could have been a good one. You could have apologized so easy. You could have made something very similar to this without using AI, and well, you would have had a good apology, and I think you would have been back in no time. I think it was very good, addresses everything, but again, if an AI wrote that, it just kind of throws everything out the window, as, is not very honest, not very sincere, and not very personal, right? So again, a lot of people not happy about that. So we'll have to find out in the future whether it is AI or not. We don't know, but people have been pretty harsh on that too. There's been a lot of support for Zen as well during all of this as well. We got Fruit saying, put your energy into criticizing real wrongdoers, put your energy into making things you can be proud of, put your energy into spending time with your family. You don't have much time on this planet, so don't waste it aimlessly witch hunting online, which 100% is true. And, this is definitely referring to the Zentreya situation at the moment. And that's been a very, common sentiment within this entire kind of situation as a whole, is I wish people would use this amount of kind of, I guess, energy, this kind of, whatever you want to call it, right, to kind of go after the real people that are actually causing problems. There is real VTubers that we have covered in the past that actually do support that kind of stuff, right, and actually do have a model similar to that, right? But people don't go after them because they don't care, or it's not a big VTuber like Zen who they can go after and maybe farm a little bit of clout off of, right? It's because of that, right? But it is pretty disappointing to see that people can't use that same energy to actually take down people who are actually doing things that are bad. But again, I thought it's crazy. You got people like Matara too saying we love Zentreya, obviously in response to this post from Yoshi, essentially saying we love Zentreya, and that was in response to OBKTCat saying we love Zentreya. So again, a lot of people have been supporting them, which is really, really great to see. And then finally as well, we got ProtoZ here kind of talking about the Podge thing. Essentially, Podge was claiming some stuff over on their Twitter, about, you know, people trying to dox her and harass her and stuff, which obviously is terrible, over the post that they made about Zen. Again, that should never happen. And as I said, I don't think it was Zen's community at all. I think it was some bad actors in the Twitter space. Obviously, this has been a pretty big topic, so people do bring it up. People do kind of try to stir things up a little bit more. And yeah, obviously one of the other things they said was that they were essentially posting revenge blank, which obviously you guys can see what it says right there, right? And I do think it is pretty crazy because she literally has one of those sites, which I don't know if it's exactly revenge if you are I say publicly posting it, but obviously posting it to a you know, a paid subscription service, does it really count as revenge when you are the one that is uploading it and you know, you are the one that is getting money from people out of it? I don't think so. I don't think that really falls under the kind of category of that. But yeah, they say, I love how she's screaming that they're posting this, said, what is this exactly? Pictures of her own fantasy, which she voluntarily uploads to the internet regularly. This also clearly trying to leverage the same energy that a certain other VTuber recently generated when they suffered an actual legitimate case of this, maliciously spread by a famous wheelchair user. I said, except in that case, it was material scrubbed from the internet from years ago, not content you can buy from the creator for the price of a Big Mac. Sorry, they said, I don't agree with the idea of spreading somebody's lewd material just to own them. It's crass and a low blow, but it's also not that. You posted it online, you live with the consequences of it. Don't throw stones from a glass house, which 100% is true. I think that was a very weird kind of thing to add on there because, again, you are publicly you know, you're voluntarily posting it, so not publicly posting it, but voluntarily posting it on the internet, and it gets spread around. Sure, it gets leaked, right? That's terrible because, you know, they're not making the money that they should be making, right? Sure, whatever, but it also doesn't fall under the kind of category of the whole revenge stuff which has been going on, which obviously they tried to make it seem like, unless maybe there's some other stuff that has been going around that wasn't from that site, which, you know, maybe, you know, might count as that. I'm not sure. Again, it's like one of these things where, you know, we haven't seen exactly what it is. It's just this VTuber claiming that this has happened, and we kind of have to go off that word. But if you kind of use your context clues and kind of go and look at, you know, what sites they have and things, they still do publicly post this kind of content onto the internet, you know, and so I think that, you know, some people are going to take that and going to spread it around, and I don't think it really constitutes that category that they're trying to, you know, say it was. But again, obviously they've deleted that post now about that, and they're now, you know, apologizing for it, and people, yeah, aren't too happy about the whole AI thing, which could potentially be there. Again, as I said, I'll keep you guys up to date if there's any kind of, you know, response to that, if they kind of respond to the fact that, you know, I didn't use AI or I did use AI or whatever. If there is any kind of response to it at all, I will update you. But again, that's about it for this situation. I thought it was a pretty insane one, and hopefully Zen does come back even stronger, because there is a lot of people that support her and a lot of VTubers that have been going, you know, pretty insane for her and just trying to, you know, stop people from spreading some like misinformation, because again, it has been a pretty horrible time over the past couple of days, and obviously people like Podge and stuff like that who have kind of, you know, been furthering this negativity towards Zen. Obviously, you know, Podge has apologized for it. If that is a real apology, again, that's up for debate, right? But again, there's still many people out there who still haven't apologized for this and are still continuing to spread this kind of stuff about Zen on places like Blue Sky and also other sites as well. But yeah, as I said, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. They got a new kind of event thing out literally today, which is a really, really cool sweatshirt. If you guys want to go look at that, it'll be up on screen. It's really cool. I definitely recommend going to go get it. And as I said, you can get 10% off it by using code Kaza. So again, it's a really, really good site, really good quality. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.